Well, hello and welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to my YouTube Live. My name is Arica Angelo. Brighter, babe. My name is Arica Angelo. If you are new here, I have been a dating and relationship expert for going on 13 years now. Can you believe that, guys? 13 years doing this, helping men become the kind of man she can't resist while not losing yourself. Because what's the point of getting the girl if you lose yourself? That's just not worth it. So I welcome you guys for being here. It looks like you guys are already in the chat room. So I do these live Q&As because it's my way of connecting with you guys and getting to know you and where you are, because sometimes just giving advice to a camera is not as fun. Sorry, I'm trying to get my bracelet on and it is not working. It's not so fun giving advice. Maybe it's not supposed to go on. There it goes. It's not so fun giving advice to just a camera, but when I can actually connect with you guys and hear where you are, that makes it more rewarding. It makes it more exciting. So let's see what questions you guys have. Ninja Wolf, that's quite funny. Ninja Wolf is always like the first guy to come on. And he says, if I keep practicing kissing myself in the bathroom mirror, does that mean the girl will do the same thing to me? Yes, absolutely. Given to yourself and it shall be given back to you. That's in the Bible of Arica Angelo. Gospel, whatever, chapter, whatever. Did someone say lingerie? Well, yes, we did. David, welcome. Daniel has a great question. He says, how do you know when a woman is showing you her true feelings, not just playing mind games with you? Ooh, that's really great. Actually, let me put on my glasses. That will help my experience with you guys. How do you know if she's really being serious with you or if it's just mind games? If a woman is serious with you, she's going to be transparent, not just about what's going on in her life currently, because let's be honest, I'm going to shoot you really straight. You have some women who are going through a shit time in life and they use men to get out of their shit time in life. And so she'll burden you with her like woes and worries and this and that, hoping that you will rescue her. And so that doesn't necessarily mean she's showing you true feelings. So if she can be open about where she comes from, I feel like that's a real good indicator of her current feelings up to date. She has no problem revealing her past to you, because this is why I say this is a bit of a benchmark, because that when a woman can open up about her past, that lets you know that she is feeling safe with you. When a woman feels safe with you, she's more inclined to share her real feelings with you, okay? Write that down. When I make a woman feel safe, she is more inclined to share her real feelings with me. The other thing is, I always say, what kind of questions is she asking about you? See, a woman who's playing games, she is very focused on herself. She's very self-centered. But when a woman is actually interested in you, she asks you questions about your life. She's concerned about your world. She's invested in what happens in your life. A self-centered woman is just going to make it all about her. She's never going to take the time to really get to know you. She's not going to take the time to be there for you. If you tell her, hey, I have a big meeting at work tomorrow, I'm a little stressed about it. If you don't get a text message from her saying, hey, how did the meeting go? Did you do well? Do you feel calm about it now? That shows she's not as invested. And so you want a woman who's equally as invested. So pay attention how she's showing up for you. But women who play mind games, they're not going to do this sort of thing. They're not going to show up for you. They're not going to talk about their past. They're going to keep things on a very surface level with you. I hope that answers your question. Next question, and it just jumped. Jason Olson says, hi, Arica. I'm home early so I can give you my full attention. Honey, I'm home. Thank you for being here, my darling. Fernando, I am doing really well. Thank you, my dear. How are you? Hey, Tyler, how are you, babe? What up, James Burton? Al, I'm doing good, babe. Thanks for being here. Hi, Cut the Crap. I love that name. It's so great. So here's an interesting question from Clayton Wilson. Off the topic, but is there ever a time a woman actually needs sex? That's honey. What channel is you on, boy? Don't you know on this channel, that topic is always the hot topic. When does a woman actually need sex? That is a great question. One, I'm going to keep it very real with you guys. When she goes through a breakup, she needs sex. Like, I'm not going to lie, because there's something about when you're intimate with a man. Let's say you leave a relationship that wasn't so safe, a woman does, and then you end up with a man and he makes beautiful love to your body. He makes you feel desired again. He makes you feel loved again. He makes you feel appreciated. And so when a woman comes out of a breakup, she needs sex. But when does a woman actually need sex? I would say that there are many times that a woman needs sex. When she's going through a hard time, sometimes she needs to just get out of her head and back into her body. And a man can beautifully, lovingly bring her back to her body by making love to her body. So when she's stressed, it's a good time. Now, this woman has to be connected with her own sexuality. Some women, when they're stressed out, they become very disconnected from their sexuality. It's a nuisance to them. But for a woman who's very connected to herself, she's very connected to her body, sex can actually bring her back to her breath, feeling safe, connected with her body. So that's a good time when a woman needs sex. I would also say if a woman's feeling a bit insecure about herself, now it's on my brain. Now you guys have this on my mind. When she is feeling a bit insecure, that's a beautiful time to make love to her where she needs it, because you can speak into her body and be like, hey, you look stunning. I love the way you do this. I love the way you feel. I love all these things. So that's also a very beautiful time to make love to a woman. And when she can use it, she needs it. Next question. Hello, Derek from California. Somerset Wells, South Africa. Wow. Welcome, Colin. Thank you so much for being here. Hot Rock Nation. Arica is really smart. Thank you. Daniel says, got it, safe. Yes, that's a good one. Ninja Wolf says, yeah, Arica is the brains. Thank you, guys. Dave says he's late to the party. Baby, you're here. We're glad to have you here. Derek Tigler says, is having sex 4 times in one night with the same woman considered too much? Considering that I have good stamina as well as a healthy sex drive, please speak on this, Arica. Great question. Great question. Listen, here's the thing about women. That's the beauty of a woman. A woman can continue to come. Like, she doesn't just come once, and it's not like for you guys where it's like, okay, I've come once and I'm spent. I need 30 minutes to recuperate. I'm not saying all men are this way, but a lot of men, some men, they're like, oh my gosh, I came once, I'm going to bed. And it's like, okay. There are some men, such as yourself, Derek, who can continue to stimulate a woman many times. And it's beautiful. Is it too much? No. As long as she's still willing to go, it's a great experience, because for a woman, for some women, when she comes, maybe the first, second time may take a little bit, but then from there, her vagina becomes very sensitive. And so she's more inclined to continue to climax more and more. It becomes easier for her. So the fact that you have great stamina it's a good thing. James just said, is this a real question? And I get where he's coming from, James. So I do find it a valid question, because some people who have lots of sex, you have some people saying oh, that person's a sex addict. It's too much sex. And it's like, no, that's not a sex addict, because they have sex 4 times. And as long as your woman is up for it, then continue to please her body. Feliz Cinco de Mayo, mis amigos. Welcome, Ransom Mystic. I actually celebrated Cinco de Mayo yesterday. Yes, I had margaritas. Yes, I had tacos. Why? Because I'm part Mexican, and that's what we do on Cinco de Mayo Day. Welcome, Kiro Joshua. Joshua? Thank you, Joshua. It's my brother's name, Joshua. Vina, Erica, how many bodies did you have a year ago in your entire life? Body means sexual partners. Vina, that's not a question you ask me. That's rude. You don't ask me that. That's very intimate. Okay, guys, any other questions for me? You know, if you guys are new here and you've never heard about my work, one thing that I really encourage men with is to take advantage. I have an emotional warrior program. You will hear me talk about that over and over and over. Why do I keep talking about that? Because I believe nowadays to make relationships work, a man has to be an emotional warrior. Listen, a lot of guys, like when confrontation hits a relationship, when a guy gets scared, men either it's the flight, they fly away, they're just, I can't do this, they walk away, they freeze. But when a man's an emotional warrior, he has the stamina to stay in the relationship. He has the fortitude to stay in the relationship. And a lot of being an emotional warrior is also like being able to be there for yourself emotionally. And a lot of men haven't been taught this. Like, how many of you guys have been taught from your parents, from your school, hey, gentlemen, this is how you show up for your heart. This is how you show up emotionally. No, guys are never taught this shit. And I realized that. And I created this program because I know men have not been empowered. They don't know what to do with emotions and what to do with a woman's emotions. And so this is a beautiful program to help you guys not only be able to support yourself, but be the kind of guy that when she wants to have, you know, those talks from the heart, that you know what to say, you know what to do, and you know how to do that because you've been showing up for yourself. That's the most important thing. This is why my tagline is, become the kind of man that she can't resist while not losing yourself or her. Because here's the thing, guys, I see a lot of men working very hard to get a woman. But what happens is a lot of men, single men, this is to my single audience, but even married men, men lose themselves in the process of getting a woman. Men lose themselves in a marriage by being the nice guy and just trying to pay the mortgage and support the family. Meanwhile, he doesn't know how to show up for his woman's heart, and the marriage goes south. They get a divorce. Single men, you know, it's like I don't know how to be her equal. I'm scared to even throw my hat in the race because I don't know what women actually want. And so I just don't even play because I don't know what they want. And this is why it's really imperative that you guys do this emotional warrior program. And the guys who are doing it are having, really big changes in their life. They're knowing how to be there for themselves, to love themselves, to show themselves self-compassion, to not run away from their past, to understand like their heart is equally as important, just as much as the woman. And how do you get a relationship with your heart? Because when she wants to talk to you from her heart, you have to have your own relationship with your heart. And so that emotional warrior program is really going to equip you, and it's going to give you the practical tools to be able to do that for yourself first before you do it for her. First for you, second for her. Say that with me. First for me. Say it with me. First for me, then for her. First for me, then for her. And that's what that emotional warrior program is all about. So get your hands on that today. Clayton Wilson says, will a woman remain with a male that's hurt her because she needs what little love that she can get? Yes, there are women who do that, because it's the same thing that I just said about the emotional warrior side. They don't know how to support themselves emotionally. So when they get a little bit of love from a gentleman, they're like, oh, I'll never get this again. So I got to latch onto this asshole who keeps hurting me. And so at the end of the day, until a woman empowers herself to love on herself, and when she gets strong in herself, when she gets free emotionally for herself, she's going to look at that asshole and be like, hell no. I'm going to put up with your shit. I don't need to put up with your shit. I can support myself emotionally. I can love on myself. I can give myself massages. I can massage my little coochie until I come 20 times. I don't need to put up with your limp dick and your bullshit. But she has to get healthy for herself first before she can have the balls, she can have the emotional fortitude to stand up for herself. Do some women saying that? Yes. And it's very toxic, and it hurts them, and it takes a toll on them. And the longer they do that, the more hurt that their hearts have to endure. And that takes a lot to recover from when you've done that. Also, guys, would you give me a thumbs up, because it lets YouTube know, hey, these guys are really liking her videos, so we really want to share her videos with other guys because it's some good shit. So when you like the button, you hit the like button, that really helps YouTube go, hey, this video is getting interaction. Like, people need to hear this woman's work. That would help me out so much, you guys. Thank you. I can see those little thumbs up going. Boop, 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 boop. So thank you so much for doing that. I hope that answers your question, Clayton. Great question. Matt Miller says, why do women take single men for their money? Really good question. Sorry, I was just looking for my tea because my throat's hurting and it's not on the table. Why do single, here's the thing. Some women have not figured out that they can make their own money. Some women have not figured out how to make their own money. Hey, Andy, babe, I need my tea, please. Sorry, I can't get up and talk to you guys at the same time. So they don't know that they can make their own money. And so they're in a fear state. They're in a, I need to take from someone else. Anytime we feel like we have to take from someone else to get back for ourselves, it's because we're in a state of fear. We're in a state of desperation. Andy, everyone always asks for you. Do you want to say hi to everyone?
I'm sorry.
You shy?
Yeah.
You don't want to say hi?
Yes, hi.
Yeah, just say hi. Andy's going to come say hi to you guys because they always ask, how are you doing after your accident, Andy? You have to come down lower.
Hello. Hi.
This is Andy. He's from Indonesia, and Andy takes care of me. Everyone who meets Andy, all my friends, everybody loves Andy. He's like the most lovable guy in all of Bali. Yeah.
Thank you.
And they always ask about your accident, babe. They're like, is Andy okay? So
now it's okay. I'm fine. I'm back work with Arica.
They love Andy. They love some Andy. So yeah, women don't realize that, hey, they can make their own money. And so it's the same thing with men. When here, let me flip the script for you. When a man feels like he can't love himself, he becomes desperate and he keeps himself around women who are very hurtful to him. He stays with abusive, toxic women, narcissistic women, women who are having other boyfriends and taking his money because he doesn't realize that he has love on the inside and he can do that for himself. Women do the same thing with money because they haven't figured out that they're powerful human beings who can go out and make their own money. Someone just said, do I agree with massage my coochie? I did say that, didn't I? Do you agree with Tom Leakis? I don't know who this guy is. 3 strikes and you're out rule as far as when to have sex while dating. No, I don't subscribe to rules. I really don't. The only rule I subscribe to is if you're in an unhealthy relationship where the person is abusive, get out. That's a pretty standard rule that I do subscribe to. But when it comes to like 3 strikes, you're out with sex and things like that, like, no, babe, I don't prescribe to those things because every person is different and every person comes from a different story. They have a different past, a different upbringing. So they respond to life differently. So when we make all these like standard rules, it's bullshit because every human being is uniquely made with a unique story and you cannot put human beings in a box. This is why all of my coaching is about empowering you to be fully you, which is what that emotional warrior program is about. Because the minute we start creating systems and boxes, it doesn't work. Just like one diet doesn't work for everyone. That's why there's so many diets. Why? Because people are intricately made. We're not fucking robots. So, oops. YouTube, I said ducking. We're not ducking robots. That's what I said, ducking. So I hope that gives you clarity. You've got to find what resonates with you and then do that. But you can't find that unless you get connected to yourself. And if you can get connected to yourself, then you have your full power. And you can do that with the Emotional Warrior Program. Jason Olson says, how can you tell if a woman is being honest with her job as a waitress? Her job is to make sure you come back. Is it possible for a waitress to be honestly interested in a man? Of course she can. Of course she can. But she needs to go on a date with you if she's actually interested. Wait. Okay, this is an interesting question. A girl I am with brought up food, sex. She's not big at all, but I'm wondering, is that normal? Like what? Food, sex? Baby, you have to tell me what this is. Like, is this putting food on her body? I want to hear it. Tell me more. Yes, Archer. The Archer KD says, I need to be an emotional warrior, missing the boat on many levels for so many years, wasted from the sidelines. It's pitiful. Babe, get started on that today. Absolutely. Do not waste any more time. And there's a Facebook group, and I'm a part of that every day. So get on it. Absolutely. Nova says, you love my nails. Thank you, darling. I do my own nails, and I only get them done once a month because I can't do all that cuticle stuff. But yeah, I love painting my nails. It's cathartic. The Triangular Earth Society, will you ever do Q&A naked? As much as I would love to, because I hate clothes and I love clothes. I hate wearing them, but I like designing them and I like the way I look in them. But I'm afraid YouTube's not going to let me do that. Maybe I should have like a nudist retreat or something like that. Gustavo says, a woman does not need love from her husband. You don't need love from your husband. That is destructive, unhealthy. A man does not need love from his wife. That is greedy, selfish, and destructive. Gustavo, you're actually incorrect, darling. There is a book called The Attachment Styles, and they have done scientific studies, and they say that we are biologically wired to need one another. So this jargon of self-love and we don't need anyone is a bunch of load of horseshit. You needed your mother's vagina. You've needed your father's sperm. You needed her womb. You needed a doctor to deliver you. This self-sufficiency stuff is a bunch of garbage. It's a bunch of people who are terrified to live from their hearts. And so they self-protect and they guard themselves and say, I don't need anyone. And they don't need anyone because they're scared to need someone. Dave says, Andy is great and so supportive of your work. He is great. Andy is great. All right, any other questions? James Burton says, sounds like a fetish. Jim, what are your thoughts on again, off again relationships? I'm not a big fan of it. It becomes very toxic. I think the best thing for a couple that are undecided on one another is they need to take some time apart and they need to work with a coach like myself, or they need to work with a therapist, or they need to do some sort of breath work, something to come back to themselves. Because when you're on again, off again, you're not very clear on what you want as an individual. And so when you bring another person who also lacks clarity, what you do is you create ongoing confusion. So no, I'm not a big fan of them. Next question. You guys keep calling me the Latina Sarah Palin. I don't think I look anything like her. Let's see. Clayton says, send a link to their Facebook group. I cannot, darling. You have to join the Emotional Warrior program first. Next one. Is it a good idea to have a date? To date an angry woman who hates men? Should we try and make her feel better? No. Do not do this to yourself. You are not a punching bag. That is not your responsibility. I would never date a man who doesn't love women. That is not your problem. Yes, she's been hurt, and I'm really sorry that she's been through that, but she needs to sit her ass down with a coach or a therapist. That is not your responsibility to fix her. No, absolutely not. Stay away from her. Daniel says, what do I think of pickup artists? I think pickup artists are good for guys who have no social awareness whatsoever. Like the guy who's not had any social interactions as a child and growing up, and he doesn't really know how to connect with people. I think pickup artist is a good beginner stage. It's like, when you go to kindergarten, I think pickup artist is like the kindergarten of dating and relationships. It's a good little way to sort of get you in the door. But what happens is a lot of the pickup artists, it's very scammy, in my opinion. It's a lot of game playing. And so what happens is these guys, they end up creating more problems for men and women than they do actually solving them. So I think if you have a real challenge with socially interacting with people, it's a great start, but then move on. Like if you stay a part of that community, They cannot empower you to actually keep a woman because most of them don't have any heart awareness. All they have is like, this is how you like play games with a woman's head. That's not what love is. That's not where love comes from. That's where fear comes from. So I would not give it too much attention. I would start there and then move the F on. Someone else. Wow. Ransom says that it's some guy who is LA based, who has a program called something where he teaches men how to have sex for less money. Like prostitution? Like what the hell? I don't get it. I don't get it. Jesse Salazar. Okay, what I was asking last time was ignoring a woman actually helps because it forces a woman to think about you. If she was playing games, focus on your goal. Like I said, I'm surprised you haven't made a video about it. I actually have made a video about it. It is called Why Results Come When You Stop Caring. So I'm surprised you haven't seen that video. Yeah, there is. I always say this, like when a woman is taking advantage of a man and his heart, that his absence can be the best gift to her because then she has to know what life feels like without having that guy. So if she's taking advantage of you and, you know, she's got her own emotional baggage that she's gaming herself through, then you need to step away for a bit and she needs to know what life feels like without your presence in her life. I hope that that helps you. Question. If you're friends with a woman, how do you get her to see you for more than a friend? There's a big age difference. I've talked a lot about this. Like you've got to take her out on a date and you've got to interject some touch, like a little touch on the arm, a little bit of moving the hair out of the face, telling her how beautiful she is. And as you're dating her, then at some point you have to say, look, I'm actually really interested in you. I'd love to be more than just your friend. You have to have that direct conversation. Mario says, women are the gatekeepers of sex. Men are the gatekeepers of commitment. There is some truth to that, but I think that we're starting to come out of that paradigm because I think women are becoming more awakened that they want sex and they don't have to play games to get it. So that is... that paradigm is actually changing. I feel like that's a bit of an antiquated paradigm that we grew up with, but now people are kind of like realizing that sex is a beautiful gift, and when they want it, they're going to go have it, and they don't have to play games to get it. And in terms of commitment, like it takes two to commit. So I don't know if that's really how things are playing out these days. So guys, I am so grateful that you guys are here and I love doing these live Q&As with you. I really enjoy it. So thank you for being a part of my community. Thank you for being one of my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe and turn on the notification bell because that lets YouTube know we need to notify this guy every time she does one of these live videos because that's what they're here for, is to support you guys, get your questions answered so that you can get some clarity on where you're going with women so that you don't have to do things blindly wasting time and wasting money. I feel like I've saved a lot of you guys from some potential gold digging situations for sure, of women who are talking to you on the internet and it's like, oh, I can't come see you, but can you send me money? The answer always is what? No, cannot send you money. No, I've never met you. I've never connected with you intimately. No, you're not getting my money. Mario says, how tall am I? I am 5'5.5". And I wear heels all the time, but I've not been able to wear heels because I hurt my knee. I wish I was 5'7". Thank you, Ninja Wolf. I wish I was 5'7". Guys, I love you so much. What am I going to say to you? That you have what it takes. You have what it takes, guys. You got it inside. Do the Emotional Warrior Program. I encourage you guys, get started on that today because that is going to accelerate your path with women, accelerate your path with you knowing yourself and loving yourself. But guys, remember this, that no matter where you are and no matter what's going on in your world, that you, my dear, that you are so loved. I just want you to just kind of breathe that in, that I am so loved, that no matter what's going on in the world right now, that I am deeply, deeply, deeply loved. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. All right, guys, you take care, and I will see you soon. Love you guys.